5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
This is About Space, America's return to space, with news and information on our U.S. space program. Is your host of About Space, David Denault.
Welcome, and thanks for joining me today. Well, it's official. Yesterday, May the 10th, the Osiris-Rex left the asteroid Bennu and began its Earth return cruise phase. And when it finally reaches Earth in 2023, the spacecraft will eject the sample return capsule, the SRC, which will descend to Earth using parachutes. It will land at the Utah Test and Training Range. But were there other reasons to sample the asteroid Bennu? Hear what the principal investigator of the Osiris-Rex mission says next on About Space Today. Are you ready to fly away on a dream vacation? For cruises and all-inclusive resort vacations, call D&D Cruise and Tours at 877-747-8631. That's 877-747-8631. And see us on Facebook, D&D Cruise and Tours, where your dreams become a reality. Welcome back. Dante Loretta is the principal investigator of the Osiris-Rex sample return mission. And hear what he has to say about the dangers of an asteroid like Bennu.
Historically and through all of our history and science books, we believe that life was created by a comet or an asteroid hitting the surface of Earth. In the same way, it also wiped out the dinosaurs.
On a long enough timeline, the Earth will certainly be impacted by an asteroid at some point in the future. In the recent past, there has been major impacts on the order of a small nuclear weapon being detonated in Siberia. This was the Tunguska event.
A 50-meter wide comet fragment exploded and flattened about 80 million trees.
For 1999 RQ-36, the target of the Osiris-Rex mission, we've determined that there's on the order of a 1 in 1,000 chance of this body hitting the Earth sometime in the 22nd century. It's one of the most potentially hazardous asteroids in the solar system.
About once every 6 years, it gets close to the Earth and backs away.
In the past, it's come within a few 100,000 miles of the Earth, almost a lunar distance.
We're probably looking at an object that we would call a rubble pile. That is, it's a series of boulders that are loosely held together by the microgravity environment of the small asteroid.
It's a type of asteroid that's called a carbonaceous asteroid.
Carbon is one of the most abundant elements in the solar system. It makes up a large fraction of giant planets like Jupiter and Saturn. But when you get to the planets that formed in the inner solar system, they missed out on most of the carbon. They do contain some very interesting organic molecules like amino acids and nucleobases. These are the building blocks of proteins and DNA, the primary biomolecules on Earth.
For mankind, the ability to understand how to rendezvous with another body, whether it's a planet or an asteroid, and doing the engineering and the technology to support that is a big part of what Osiris-Rex is going to be returning.
There's over 500,000 known asteroids in the solar system, and most of those will only ever be studied using telescope observation. Osiris-Rex has one of its primary objectives of training the next generations of scientists, engineers, and managers to lead the exploration of space for the United States and for the world. We're hopeful that we will be interacting with kids that are in middle school and high school who will be working on this project 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the road.
Dante Loretta, principal investigator of Osiris-Rex sample return, that is now on its way back to Earth with a landing in 2023. So if you're in junior high or high school, this might be a time to check out careers with NASA. Be sure to have your family and friends listen each Tuesday with me on About Space Today, and on Fridays, America in Space with Dawn Meyer from Florida's Space Coast, and follow us on Facebook at aboutspace.today for space launches and landing updates. And our Tuesday shout-out goes to Sweden with its many listeners there, and to all of our friends and listeners around the globe and in the United States, thank you for listening. I'm David Denault, and this has been About Space Today.